Since a copy of this book ran across my desk, I have been excited about an opportunity to hear from this extraordinary woman. The name of the book is entitled The Blind Visionary, The Incredible Odyssey of One of America's Most Successful Blind CEOs. And we want to talk to the wonderful, adorable Virginia Jacko. How are you doing, Virginia?
Good morning, Alvin. I'm doing well. Thank you.
That's good. I've been looking forward to talking to you and learning more about your extraordinary story. Tell me about the challenge you had a few years back when you noticed that your vision was changing.
Losing one's vision when you have retinitis pigmentosa is like your vision being the hole of a donut, and slowly that hole closes, leading to total blindness. But it is very, very gradual. So when it first happens, you're not even aware of it. The good news is, though, that we read with our central vision. So I might miss someone standing to my left and not say hello to them or shake their hand, and yet read a very small spreadsheet because you'd read with your central vision. And that was a vision that remained with me until that window of eyesight totally closed.
Now, tell me about your work experience. I believe you were executive with an extraordinary university?
Yes, I was the financial advisor to the president and provost of Purdue University. I worked my way up through the business office system of Purdue and had the privilege of working for almost 15 years with Purdue's president and provost. And there were a lot of people that wanted my job, so I hid my vision loss for a long time because I didn't want people to know that there was a weak link in my armor. But one day, I started to have some significant goofs. Let me tell you one story. I was going to have a brown bag lunch with all of my employees. That weekend, my brother visited me, and he was a beer drinker, and he left his cans of beer in the refrigerator. But my husband and I weren't beer drinkers, so Monday morning, wanting to be Miss Efficient, get up early, make my peanut butter jelly sandwich, and reach in for what I thought was a can of Coke. Put it in my bag. Now it's just before noon. Go to the conference room, open up my sandwich, set out my beer, thinking it's Coke, and I leave and I go and talk to the provost. All of my employees are seated. I walk in. Good morning, everyone. So glad we're joining together for lunch. Let's go around the room and everyone talk about their action items for the week. Sitting next to me was one of my direct reports. He was a senior business manager for the Purdue Library System. First thing out of his mouth is, Virginia, I didn't know that we could bring beer to these lunches. And I'm thinking, oh, my. Oh, well, keep smiling. And I say, oh, my goodness, my brother visited this weekend, and I didn't turn the lights on this morning. When I reached in the refrigerator, I just dropped that can in my brown bag. So sorry, and put the beer away. Fortunately, I had not popped it open yet. So if little goofs like that happen, you have to keep your sense of humor, keep your composure. But ultimately, it gets to the point where I had to say to the treasurer, Ken, you need to know I'm starting to lose my vision. And from that point, it really was like a rebirth. I relocated to Miami in Florida to get all of my vision rehabilitation skills so that I once again could be a total independent computer user, live independently, have my mobility skills. And that's what we do at our vision rehabilitation facilities here throughout the United States.
I love a quote that you say, which is, I believe, I didn't choose to be blind, but I am blind, and rather than curl up in a ball and dwell on what I lost, I have charged ahead to make a real difference during the time I have been granted. Tell me about some of the things that you're doing right now, because I appreciate the fact that when you have a challenge, you have always taken a proactive approach to your crisis.
Thank you. Those are some of the takeaways in the book, like reach out aggressively, act on opportunities, never let fear win, and keep things in perspective. So, for example, one of our students here the instructor said he was the next Mozart, a natural ear for music. And I went up to the music studio, and he wasn't there. And I said, where is Omar? They said, oh, well, Division of Blind Services said he had to get a job, and he's going to be working on the sewing machines at a sheltered workshop. And I was like, what? Why is that happening? They said, well, they're going to try to train him for clerical work, but he has to first work in the factory. And I said, wait a minute, he's been blind since birth, and he's a natural musician? So I called the Division of Blind Services and said, I don't understand this. And they said, well, Virginia, we have to show a completion, and this opportunity was open. And I said, I'll give you a completion. He now is an assistant music instructor at the Miami Lighthouse. So I took a risk, didn't let fear win because I really didn't have it in my budget, but I couldn't stand the fact that someone so talented would be doing something for which they would, struggle for the rest of their life and have very low expectations. We do that all the time here, whether it's a senior who has macular degeneration and the relatives want to say, hey, Mom, you got to now go to an assisted living facility. We don't want you living alone. I just did that yesterday with someone. I said, look, you come here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 3 months, and I promise you, you will be cooking. You will have all of your independent living skills, and your family members will agree that you can continue living alone in your apartment.
The name of this extraordinary book is entitled The Blind Visionary, The Incredible Odyssey of One of America's Most Successful Blind CEOs.